不是我. Hi everybody. Hello everyone. This is client Centric, episode 37. Yeah, today I'm actually at the Tapestry show flat in Tampines. So now waiting for my queue. I believe we still got some time. What happened in a show flat is there'll be various joint marketing agency. So that's why even though I'm on queue, right, I have a bit of time to talk to you right now. Okay, today the topic I want to talk about, right, is about tenancy woes. Okay, these are some of the rental issues I met when the market was slow. Okay, was slow, a bit like now. Okay. Okay, what is happening is that how you know if the market is slow. Okay, you know the market is slow if let's say you know that the rental units, a lot of them are vacant. You have a lot of competition as a landlord. You know that a lot of people are renting out their units at the same time when you choose to rent out your unit. And at the same time, your unit is not tenanted out that fast after the previous tenant moved out, and probably the number of viewings are also very little. Okay, and also you may notice that because nowadays a lot of owners do not want to landlords do not wish to give exclusive. Why? Because they're afraid that the unit will get stuck, so they get a lot of agents to come into market from different agencies. Okay, different agencies meaning Propnex, Huttons, ERA. You can have Huttons, Savills, CBRE, all those Orange Tea. Everyone will come in to help to market this unit, and then you know that okay, now instead of one listing you see on the property guru, right, you actually see that one listing being repeated many times on postings by different agents, and that one listing becomes like 30, 40 listings because there are like 30 to 40 agents marketing the same unit for the owner. So how does it affect the owner? Eventually, to the tenants is, oh good, I see 30 to 40 listings for the same unit, means owner is quite urgent and desperate now. So I can take my time to go through all the 30 to 40 agents and see which of them will give me the best offer. Okay, and then it's not just this unit which has 30 to 40 listings. How about the rest of the other units? Similarly, right now what we see is a lot of other units is also having the same issue, having 20 to 40 agents to market for them at the same time. And because of that, right, so you can go inside property guru to find, and you realize that as a tenant or as a buyer you get very frustrated because there's so many listings. It takes you a long time to go through everything, and at the same time a lot of them are duplicates, and then sometimes even when they contact the agent, the agent is not there to listen or answer the call. Because why? The agents know that there's too much competition, so they just place it inside the shop to show people that they have the listings. But are they really focusing or working on it? Nobody knows. Okay, so if you happen to be a tenant or buyer, then you will realize you have experienced this right now. Okay, so for the landlords, right, what kind of issues I have actually met when the market is slow? Okay, there's actually one, two, three, four, five scenarios I want to share with you today. Okay, so the first scenario is early termination by the tenants because they found a cheaper accommodation elsewhere. Okay, because when the market is a bit soft, okay, they will realize that hey, previously I signed with this landlord is 3,500 for a 3 bedroom in the suburbs, but now 3,500 I can get a 2+1 in the city area. Maybe a slightly smaller development with lesser facilities, but it's really so much nearer to the place that I'm working, and at the same time, in terms of prestige, it's still in the town area. It's not a suburban area, and the time to travel from my workplace back to my home, right, my rented unit is actually way much shorter. So you do come across tenants who tell you suddenly like, oh, I want to move in with my girlfriend, this 1 bedroom is too small for me. Oh, I'm getting married, so we wanted a bigger place, we bought a place elsewhere. All these kinds of reasons that the tenants will give to you as a landlord. Okay, and then that will cause you a bit of discomfort lah. Okay, because why? They intend to terminate the lease early, and what does that mean for you? Means that first of all, your rental income is jeopardized. Okay. Then secondly is the uncertainty of when the next tenant will actually come in to rent your unit after this tenant is gone. Okay, then the third thing is sometimes you also worry, what if you don't comply with this tenant? He will spoil your house because he's not happy. Okay, you don't want to antagonize the tenant, also want to keep a good relationship. Then what happens? Okay, so for this, right, and then sometimes some of the tenants may tell you they want to terminate, but actually under the contract, right, the actual tenant is the company, and this tenant is actually an occupant under the tenancy agreement. So meaning to say, under the tenancy agreement, the occupant, which is the physical tenant himself, right, he wants to leave, but the company is not aware of that. So landlords sometimes run into trouble is because if they say, okay lah, I don't want to make things difficult for the tenant, because they see the tenant every time, so they feel that okay, that is the tenant, so I don't want to make things difficult for the tenant. If they want to leave, I let them leave. Okay, then we terminate early, never mind that I already pay out my commission to the agent, which is irrecoverable. Okay, but however, one thing to note is, how about landlord? Have you thought about what if the company turn around and say, how come you just terminate this thing like that? So have you actually breached the contract terms, because it's supposed to go for 2 years, and after 1.5 years, suddenly my employee is no longer at your place working. So how to tie up these loose ends? Okay. So the next scenario, the second scenario I want to talk about, right, is actually when the tenant has lost his income. Okay, this is the situation whereby this tenant, particular tenant, we know when he rented the unit, he was in a very good position. Okay, he owns his own company in the oil and shipping business, something like that. He moved in with his girlfriend, has dual income to support the rental, no issue. But years after, he renewed, and then that at one point the oil business was suffering, so he don't have the income as well as before, and his monies didn't come in that frequently anymore. So what happened is that uh, my landlord faced this issue. The tenant totally stopped paying for months, and my landlord did not dare to tell me until she felt that it was getting out of hand and she has no way to turn the tables over and recover that money. And it is clocking up over $10,000. It's clocking up over $10,000, and she really cannot think of how to get rid of the tenant, okay, and how to retrieve back the monies. So she looked to me for help. So with my help, my assistance and my advice, right, given to her periodically, we managed to help her recover that money. I think she got it back after 1 week after my advice. Okay, so that's the $10,000 retrieved from the tenant from hell that I was talking about. Okay, so now let's talk about the third scenario whereby the tenant decided to move out quietly because he knew that he has damaged the house beyond any kind of reasonable minimal repair. And he was afraid that the landlord would hold him responsible or even sue him. So this kind of tenant decided to quietly move out like a Mickey Mouse without telling anyone. Okay, we have come across such a situation. It was actually one of the first few cases I handled when I took the unit back for the landlord. Okay, we were shocked to see that unit at Matoma Road near Boon Keng, Kalista, the name of the condo, right? When we went down to the unit, okay, even though we have given advance notice to the tenant's agent and the tenant, right? Okay, on the day of the handover, which we told them what time, to comply with such, it was quite horrifying to see that, first of all, the tenant did not turn up for the handover. Okay, so he did not turn up for the handover to give the keys back to the landlord properly. Secondly, is the agent did not even attend the handover. The tenant's agent also MIA. Okay, and then despite us calling and emailing and texting, right, there's no replies, no response for that day. And it took us like 5 hours to finally wait for someone to come down after we threatened them with something. Okay, so what happened was no choice. The landlord decided to open the door, and to our shock, right, when she opened the door, every inch of the apartment, which is a condo, right, is running amok with 300 to 400 cockroaches. it was so bad. The curtains was badly drawn with all the marker pen ink markings, which was in a way we felt is a sort of vandalism lah. Okay, the walls were all dirty with scribbles with pencils and pens. Okay, and then the flooring, which is compressed marble, had stain marks of candle drips and oil stains and don't know what kind of stains on it. Okay, which seems like it was irreparable. Okay, we go to the kitchen. There was food remnants left half open everywhere. Okay, and then we open up the fridge, the microwave, the ovens, even the washing machine and fridge and freezer, and even when we got into the bedrooms and open up all the cupboards, it was a shocking scene to see that everywhere we have cockroaches. And because of that, I asked my landlord for approval to wear my heels inside her unit, because I really cannot imagine how I would react if the cockroaches crawl on me when I'm trying to inspect the unit for her to see how much damage has been done. Okay, not just that, the mattresses has also been badly stained. Okay, and then the sofa has also been ripped, and even the door handles of that condo was like broken off from the doors. Okay, it was a very terrible situation. Curtains spoiled. Okay, flooring gone. The kitchen was horrible. There's no signs of being cleaned up. Okay, so it was a horrible state to take back in. So for this kind of situation, right, if you're a landlord and you have no agent, okay, maybe at the point when you rent out your unit, it was very in demand, so you do not need an agent. But if in this situation right now, like this landlord, okay, and you do not happen that you're in this situation like this landlord and you do not have an agent to help you, okay, how are you going to deal with it on your own? If you really are in a fix, right, I will invite you to give me a clarity call via my link, which I'm going to insert in later, or you can look under my website, okay, to find out more from my ad hoc services. Okay, so this was what I went through with my landlord. Okay, so okay, so how we managed to make the tenant come back and give the key and sign and make sure that he knows all the security deposits will be forfeited and how much he still owes the landlord and stuff like that for all the damages. Okay. Then the next situation. Okay, this kind of tenant is okay. I met this tenant when initially he rented the unit from me in Deng Fu View. He was a very well-to-do businessman. He appeared to be a very well-to-do businessman, very pious. Okay, and then he, for his religion, he has a wife, a pretty wife, two kids, and a mom. Okay, he seems like a very reasonable person, but when we were about to sign the tenancy contract, right, he insisted the tenancy contract must put down the name of his very young wife. Okay, okay, so luckily, the wife is above 21 and a Singaporean. We managed to put her name down. But however, not long after we rented out the penthouse to him, a condo, right, which is just 5 minutes walk from the Eunos MRT. Okay, things began to happen a few months later. First of all, what he did was, this kind of tenant, your landlords, please beware. The tenant, right, he didn't want to put his name down, even though he's a businessman, he didn't want to put his name down for the tenancy contract. He actually want us to put down his wife's name instead. That's number one. Okay, so his name is not existing in the TA as a tenant. He's just an occupier. So if in case anything happens, the one that's actually liable will be the wife. Okay, held liable. So that's one. The second thing is that he requests for early move in. He requests for early move in. And then afterwards, which a few months later, he started to slow down on payments and didn't pay. Okay, he started to say that the gyro had problems, so his gyro couldn't go through. So the wife called up my landlord and said, why not she give a check, and subsequently the check also bounced. And then they said they will bank in cash into the account which that didn't happen. So months after months, seemingly the renter also in areas, okay, wrote snowball to quite a bit of money until my landlord has no choice but to call me and ask me for help. So with that, right, for me is I help them to early resolve this tenancy agreement, okay, legally, and then I also help them to arrange for a handover, which means I make the tenants move out for the landlord so that the landlord can take back the property in peace. Okay, so for this situation, if you're a landlord and you have this kind of tenant and you really don't know what to do, okay, can look for me because my link is inside here. Okay, so and the most angry thing I had was I felt very angry because the wife is very young. So the tenant was saying, why don't you sue me? Why don't you sue me bankrupt lah? But the suing part, he's actually a bit, I felt he's a bit irresponsible because the suing will actually be suing the wife and not him because his name is not as a tenant in the contract. Yeah. So he's actually, in other words, asking us to sue his wife bankrupt for the rental in areas. And why I don't advise that is because it might be good money throwing after bad money gone. Yeah, because that will take some time, right? And then still he will be staying inside the unit. So the best thing I felt we can do is make them leave first. So at least we can take back the property in case they decided to wreck the property for the landlord, which is even worse. Okay, what the landlord is taking from the tenant is actually a very small sum of money compared to the property price that they bought. Yeah, so it's not worthwhile for my landlord to sue him at all in that situation, knowing that he has got no money. Okay, so now the last situation. So I have gone through A, B, C. Okay, so I've gone through the early termination, the loss of income where we retrieved the $10,000. I've gone through the tenant that wants to move out because he damaged the house so much. And then the one that the tenant wants us to sue his wife bankrupt, okay, to play for more time, which I'm quite angry with that. Okay, and then the last situation, the fifth situation, okay, whereby the tenants actually illegally sublet out the unit. Okay, we rented out to Korean tenants for a unit in Pasir Ris. It's an executive apartment. Okay, that time our landlord is so rich, right? Because our landlord is so rich, he's staying in Bukit Timah, so he didn't have much time to pay attention to this unit while we're taking care of it for him. But he was too shy to ask from us for help in the very beginning. It's because the tenant actually started to be slowing down the payments, which is not that obvious. But subsequently, it seems that the tenant under the contract totally vanished into thin air, whereas his mother, whose name is not even in the contract, appeared out of the blue, a Korean madam. Okay, and then neighbors started to complain to my landlords that this unit actually is having a lot of heavy traffic, in and out, and then the doors are always open for this unit, and there's many pairs of shoes and outside the unit, and also a lot of times they see a lot of people smoking outside the unit, which is causing a hassle, a nuisance to all the neighbors in the block. Okay, so landlord got a bit suspicious. Okay, first thing my landlord suspected was maybe there's illegal subletting and overcrowding, which is not wrong. So we went down to the unit to inspect for him and realized that it's actually true. Okay, went down on his behalf. Okay, so the other situation is, of course, the monies didn't come into him. The rental was in arrears. Okay, and thirdly, this tenant was very tough. They didn't want to move out. So for me, right, what I did was, okay, I went down to inspect and discovered that it's true. It's undergoing illegal sublet, and my landlord might run into trouble if we don't chase them out. So what I did was, we gave them notices. Then I chased out the tenant, and then their security deposits are forfeited. For this situation, in a way, it was a bit bad because why? The tenant totally disappeared, and then the landlord says, never mind, forget about the money. He just want back the unit because he didn't want so much trouble already. This tenant totally vanished without a trace. Okay, and in a way he came to us was pretty late. He didn't come to us. So when he called me finally, I asked him, why did you come to me until now? You should have come to me earlier. You know, whenever something's didn't go quite right, maybe you suspect something, you should have called us at the first instance so that we can, you know, nab it in time for you. Okay, so these are some of the services that we provide for our landlords. But if you happen to be a customer who has never dealt with us before, and you really need some kind of advice, right, with respect to your rentals, to your tenants who's damaging your property, or even you're suspecting of illegal sublet, or even up to the situation whereby your tenants are not paying you your rentals due, and it has snowballed to quite a bit of money, okay, I invite you to actually call up. No, I actually invite you to click my link and then arrange for a clarity call with me and see what I can do for you. Okay, so that's all for time being, and thanks for the sharing. So if I'm doing, no, not if, I am now doing tapestry. So if you have anyone that's interested in tapestry, coming down to take a look at the show flat or buying a property in the east, okay, or even Riviera. Okay, Riviera is now having a 3+3 discount. So that's why I had that put inside my Facebook for the posting. So if let's say you're interested in investing in a CCR property, I invite you to come and connect with me. Okay, so my link is actually right here in my post. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much. So this is Client Centric ending episode 37. Okay, bye.